Okay, well, the project I'm going to tackle is this very small laundry room. We just have a washer and dryer in here and some storage. The plan is to put up some shiplap, move the upper cabinets down, and take out that shelf so we can utilize the cabinets. So you can see just a standard laundry room. So my next start here will be to take the doors off. Take these doors off. And then get the washer and dryer out of the room. Okay, so we got the washer out, the dryer's out, and now it's time to start getting everything off the walls. The outlets, plates, the light switches. I'm going to take the baseboard out. One thing I probably don't really need to do, but if they've done any caulking along here, obviously I'm covering it with Wayne's Shiplap. So probably don't even need to cut it, but it's just a habit. So I just like to break the bead. So I'm just going to go along there on all the baseboards, and then I'll take those out. And once I use my knife to cut along the caulk line, I just used a hammer, bang this in, and now, you know, just gently getting it off. So it just takes a little bit, but it's pretty easy to do. And you can see where I cut the line, how it's not ruining the sheetrock. So it is kind of worth it doing it, but that'll be all covered up, so it won't really matter. Okay, so I've got all the baseboard out of here. You can see, came out nice and easy. Once again, the damage that you do to the sheetrock isn't going to really matter because you're covering it. But you do want to get it smooth, so I just use it's a putty type knife. Clean everything up. So like right here. Oh dang, I got to get all these little nails out. I forgot to bring them. I got to little pair of pliers or something to snip those off. And once you get this, it'll come off fairly easily. And got to start right there. So I just got a little, I don't even know what you call these, and just cut it right at the wall. And you can see there's a couple more down here. Where they go flying. Better have glasses on when you do this. All right, I'm just going to do a little quick cleanup. Got a lot of crap on the floor. I want to make sure the first piece of shiplap goes in nice and smooth. So I had some grout back over there in the edge that was sticking up. I scraped that off, so I want to clean all that stuff up real good. Anyways, I do my 30-second rainbow vacuum cleaner commercial. If you don't have a rainbow, guarantee you your house is filthy. Rainbow uses water to catch all the dirt. A vacuum cleaner blows all the dirt out the bag. And the worst vacuum you can get is a Kirby because it has the biggest motor, so it blows the most dirt out of the bag. And you're saying mine doesn't blow dirt out of the bag. Well, if air doesn't go through that bag, why doesn't the bag explode? The air goes through the bag and the dirt follows. Anyways, that was my 30-second rainbow pitch. I'm just going to clean up with the rainbow and get all this stuff out of here, trap it in the dirt instead of blowing it around the house. And you can see I just did a little pattern on it. Nothing, you can do it any way you want. I don't know any better way than the other, but this is the one I got. I believe I got this at Home Depot. However, I did buy these shiplap boards at Lowe's today. Anyways, I'm gonna put that up and see how it goes. Okay, so I just nailed in the first one. See, I'll have a couple marks there. I'm hoping the board that goes along this wall will cover those. Otherwise I'll have to do a little putty work. Put a nail in there. I know there's a stud there. And a couple nails over here. Of course you'll never see those, but, and I did put my level up. And you can see it's pretty much spot on. So that first piece looks real good. Now I'll work on the other one and see how that goes in. Okay, so I just put in a couple brad nails, got some glue on the back of it, make the adjustment. And you can see it's looking pretty level. Hopefully you can see it. It's looking pretty level, so I'm happy with that. You can see there's a little gap on the bottom, but that's all right. And so now everything should be pretty level. I'm obviously going to check them, but should stay pretty level. And got a couple more cuts around this thing, and then I'll have to figure that out. But I'm going to go up a couple rows, and then I'll maybe work on this side a little. And this side should be fairly easy. I'm not gonna put shiplap on this back wall, so I'm gonna leave that piece of trim, and I'm gonna get my tool that I can cut this piece, square that off with, so I can get a nice piece of shiplap in there. I'm just gonna wait to do that for a few minutes. Alrighty. Okay. Well, I was just getting ready to do my first full piece. As you can see, this is going to be a little bit above my vent exhaust, so I just thought a full piece would fit in there really nice, and it would be a lot easier, but of course that never happens. As you can see, one second. When I line this up, you can see this, whatever you call it, protrudes out from the sheetrock. So I have decided I'm going to just chisel out a tiny little groove so this will fit flush against the wall instead of doing two pieces. So I think it's the better way to go. You can see over here it's behind the sheetrock, and over here it's protruding out beyond it. So I got a chisel and a mallet and see if I can chisel that out. Obviously you're never going to see it, but we'll see how it works. Okay, it's not pretty, but it actually worked. So if I did it all over again, it's hard to say if I'd do it again or not, but I do like having one piece there. So check it out. Let me get it up. Now you can see it's flush against the wall. Pretty flush. I think it's good enough. The nail in there. Gonna look real good. So I think I'm gonna go with that. Okay. So I've got up to this point done. I just trimmed around here, and the plate will fit right back over that and cover all this. So just a little update. Everything's been pretty level. I've been checking every section I put in, so it's coming along pretty well. Slower than I thought, but I'm happy with the progress. Okay, so not moving along as fast because there have been a lot of cuts. Obviously I had to cut this board, and then I had to cut that board, but everything was lining up real nice. You can see. It's level. So my cabinets are going to go right around here. So I'm going to do another row or two and then probably call it quits for today. Okay, so This top row, you can obviously see it's been cut down, ripped down. I'm going to be placing my cabinets right back up here in this area. So the cabinet will sit on that. I'll install those. But first I'm going to work on the sides, get that side done. And then over there. And then I'll determine how I'm going to install the cabinets. A few things I was looking at when I was starting on this wall. Obviously you can see it's just a sample piece. You can see that big gap. So I just kind of figured out the angle, and you can see how I cut it at an angle, and you can see the difference. Now when that goes in there, just a little bit of caulking and that'll look real nice. And then here's what it looked like, what it would have looked like. So you can see the difference. And then over here, obviously, these have to line up real nice. It wasn't lining up nice, so I had to, I just used a sander. And you can see I sanded off a bit of the bottom here. This middle tile, this tile right here it wasn't completely level. So if I don't get this first row right, I'm obviously gonna have some problems. So now you can see they line up real nice. I think that's pretty close. And let me put a level on it. And you can see it's pretty level. So I think that's where I'm going to start. So the first row has to be perfect and the rest should follow. Okay, I'm just going to put a little glue on the back and brad nail it up. Okay, you can see it's coming along pretty good. I'm obviously going to have to do some grouting. You know, everything's not square, so over here this will never be seen. I'll just grout it. It'll look real nice. But overall, the wall taking a lot longer than I expected, but that's all good. Anyways, now I'm up to a light, so I'll show you how I've been doing this. I just take an extra piece and kind of mark the lines on this. Then I'll hold it here. Hold it here like that. And I'll get that. Draw a little line there. And then I'll just square it off. And then I'll pick up the piece that's going to go there and mark this on it and go cut it out with a little skill saw. Okay, so I kind of got up to the point where I wanted to put up one cabinet to see how it was going to look and how it was going to fit. Everything's going together. You can see on a couple of these slats, I wanted to utilize some scraps, and you can see they'll be hidden just like behind the cabinet when it's installed over there. So that should look, you'll never see it. Anyway, so I'm just progressing along. Got that cabinet in. I'm going to finish up both sides, both of these sides, and then work on the top row, and then see how far I can get today. Anyways, everything's gone fairly smooth. No big issues, just time consuming. And, you know, it would be good if I could do 10 cuts of all the same length, but unfortunately the walls aren't, you know, perfect. So you can see I'm going to have some, that board didn't come out good there, but most of them are fairly close. Just a little caulking. You'll never see it anyways, because when you're doing the laundry, it doesn't matter, but trying to get them as good as I can. This side, I had to cut out down there for the board to fit in. No big deal, just time consuming. Anyways, that's where I'm at. Okay, well, I got all the shiplap in. I'm not too happy with this light switch, you can see, but for now, it's going to have to do. I had to get extenders. These ones actually came out pretty nice. I have those two there, and I haven't messed with the big power plug yet, but I'm going to have to. And so I'm just getting ready to start to do some caulking, so I wanted to, you know, I've got some seams that I definitely need to fix up and hopefully make them look better. I could put some trim there, but there's really no need for trim. Keep in mind there's going to be a big washer and dryer in this area, so most of this you won't even see, but I want to get it looking nice. I put the cabinets in. I am going to cut a piece for the middle and fit that in, and should hopefully look somewhat seamless, but as good as possible. So you can see the top row is real challenging. I did have, like you can see way up there, a piece is cut straight. The sheetrock was obviously not totally straight, so it was a challenge, but I think with a little caulking it should look pretty good. So that's where I'm at. This is the stuff I'm using from Home Depot. Someone told me never to use that Alex stuff, so I never use it. I don't know if it's any good or not. I've never tried it. But anyways, that's about where I'm at for now. I'll do a little caulking and come back and show you how it ends up. Okay, so you can see I've done some caulking up at the top. Around the whole top edge. Actually came out pretty nice. It's coming out a little bit better than I expected. I'm not great at caulking. Basically what I do when I'm caulking is I keep a damp rag to keep my fingers clean at all times. And then I have a dry rag where I just wipe excess onto. And occasionally take a dab and fill in a spot from this stuff. But so you can see here's an example where it came out pretty nice. And here's an example where I took too much off. So I shouldn't say typically because I've not done this a lot, but I'm just going to let that dry in there pretty good and then go over with another light coat. So you can see I cut a real small end off on the caulking gun. I didn't use this piece here to cut a big chunk off. I got a razor blade and cut that small end. And it's pretty, I mean, all you're doing is, I don't know if anyone needs to see this, but this is a pretty big hole, a gap. That's bad cutting on my part, but anyways, so I'm just gonna squeeze in a little bit more than normal there. And it's hard to do with one hand. So this is how I've been doing it, one board at a time. Put the gun down. And then just go back over it lightly. That was probably too heavy. Those were big, that was a big gap, so that's probably going to need to be done twice anyways. Then when I get some on my finger, I just wipe it off. Then I use my wet rag, try to keep a little moisture, and just keep working my way on down. And those spots look like I'm going to have to go over them again. But anyways, you get the gist of it. Just, you know, if it doesn't come out good the first time, just put a little bit more on. But overall, it's coming out pretty nice. See, I've done up there. Those came out pretty nice. This is going to be an area that is never going to be seen, so I'll spend a lot of time on these grooves, making sure I get those real nice. Okay, pretty much got the caulking done. I do have to fill in some nail holes. You can kind of see them. You can see now down the wall. Looking pretty good. The back looks real good, I think. Got the plug covers on. All the plug covers. See the corners. Up top. Everywhere you're going to see. Just got a little touch up. So it's moving along slowly, but it is moving. corners came out actually pretty good. A little caulk in there. Okay, well, I got the cabinet doors up. They're pretty cheap. They're just like Home Depot, Hampton, whatever those things are, the cheap stuff. We've had them for a while, but I'm just gonna leave them like that. Touched up all my nail holes. Came out pretty good. Cleaned everything up. Corners all came out real nice. So now it's time to get back in the washer and dryer. Got the washer put in. Reconnected the hoses. No signs of a leak. Okay, everything's going back in nice. Just got to put the doors on. Got the washer and dryer in. Okay, finally completely done. Got the doors back on. We'll keep a little ladder, and I think there's an ironing board in here. Got the cabinets now all set up. All the grout looks pretty good. And that took about 2.5 days.